What's going on, family? It's your boy Crazy Faith the God in the building. Once again, happy Thursday. It's your boy Crazy Faith in the building, getting ready to drop some quick value for today. Today's topic is actually going to be uh, the relationship with God, right? The power of having a relationship with God and developing a relationship with God. The power of developing a relationship with God, right? So let's dive into this, right? I feel like everybody, would like a relationship with God, would like to get to know God on another level. Everybody would like to, transform their lives with God. But I feel like, everybody wants this relationship, but then when they try and then, they get put through tests and trials and tribulations to test what's in their heart and to show them who they truly are, they get mad, right? They get mad, they get frustrated, and then they go back to their old ways, right? They go back to their old ways, or they even might switch sides, right? They might start to worship another negative force, right? And I feel like, a lot of people would love this relationship, right? But then when they get tested, when they get put through the trials, when things don't go the way they plan, and when things get hard, they give up. But the only reason why things are hard is to strengthen them. The reason that they're getting tested is to strengthen them. It's to show what's truly in their hearts, and so they could change that, right? Because that's not who they are. So some people, they want to change, they want to evolve, right? But when they get tested to for the relationship with God, when they get tested in these areas, because when you're following God, you will get tested in certain areas. You will get the light will get put on you, right? You will get confirmed, you will get condemned if you're doing something wrong, right? The spotlight will be on you, right? And it's just to reflect what's truly in your heart, who you truly are. And God is just only testing you to show you that and to come up higher. That's all it is. Yeah, it's hard. Being rich is hard, being broke is hard, right? Developing your relationship with God is hard, and not developing your relationship with God is even harder, right? So it's all about understanding, like, if you did try to build a relationship with God and it fell, it's okay. Get back up and switch your perspective, and so you can see what He's trying to do. Because if you don't switch your perspective, then you will keep running into the same thing over and over and over again, right? It's your mindset. It's oh yeah, if it's getting hard, you got to switch your mindset. Like, oh, it's getting hard because He's strengthening me for what He has for me, right? You got to start switching so you can understand God on another level, right? Because if we keep if we don't switch our mindsets and we keep developing the same mentality that we had, right, we will never get anywhere. It's like hitting a block. You won't get through. So we have to start adjusting our mindset, understanding what He's doing when we are developing a relationship with Him. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be peaches and cakes every day, right? Some days is easier than others. Some days you got to endure and fight that good fight of faith to pass the test, so He could show you what's on the other side, and you could prove to Him that you're trustworthy. A lot of people, we want the trust, we want the trust, we want the mansions, we want the lifestyle. But are you willing to put in the sacrifice, the work, the endurance? Are you willing to pass those tests in order to get that? Because you can't get to the abundant lifestyle and everything that you want if you're not passing the little tests along the way. You can't, because you got to be worthy. You got to show your worthiness so that you can obtain these things. And this was happening with me when I started to develop my relationship with God. I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't understand what He was doing. I was getting frustrated, right? But I kept on going anyway, and He was able to shift my perception, my mindset, and I grew. I grew from those challenges. I grew from reading the Bible and understanding, getting a better understanding of who God is. I asked Him to switch my mindset so I could understand who He was. And now it's all coming to fruition. Now I'm able to look through God's perception, so to speak, right? And to also let him change my mind into the person that he needs me to be, right? I got to be the highest version of who God called me to be. So that way he can use me and I could be more value to other people and that he puts in my life, right? This is the power of the relationship of God, right? Developing the relationship with God. Developing the relationship with God. This is so important, right? Some people, they try it out. They try to go with God. They try to make it work. Things start to get hard. Oh, nah, it doesn't work. And then they go back to their old ways and start worshiping other idols, right? That's the that's the worst thing you could do. God hates that, and your life will become more worse. Your life will get worse, right? But when you start to develop your relationship, start being patient with God through the ways, through the trials, through the tribulations, things you don't understand. There's things that I don't even understand, but I keep pushing towards God. I keep pushing forward with God, even if I don't understand, because it's not up to me to understand. It's up to me to obey and surrender to Him, and then maybe later I would understand. And then as I begin to do that, I begin to understand, develop greater wisdom, to develop greater trust with my Father. This is what we got to do. Building that relationship. Because once you build that relationship, number one, you're safe with God. Number two, you understand life. Number three, if you suffer with God, you reign with God. Right? So all the enduring that you're going through, is going to come a time where you're going to be able to reign with Him, with God. And then you're going to be so grateful that you went through the trials and the tribulations and the sufferings and the hardships to endure all that in order to reign with God and for Him to take you for where He needs you to be. You got to start switching your perception, right? You got to start switching your perception. If you're getting tested, it's for a reason. You're getting tested to strengthen your character, to come up higher in the areas that you are being weak in. This is the why. This is why He's testing you, to strengthen your character so you can stand where you're going. Because if you keep failing the test, you will never get to where you're going. And that goes for me too. We got to fight. We got to fight, because if we don't, we risk staying the same and never seeing any improvement that we want. We got to start switching our perception and understanding and not looking through our perception. Why are we looking through our perception? Our perception is nothing compared to God. Our perception is nothing compared to God. Our assumptions is nothing compared to God. Why are we like trying to figure things out? Just put it to the side. Let Him show you. Give Him room to show you what's going on. You don't have to always figure everything out, right? That goes for me too. I was that person trying to figure things out, and then one time it just came to me like, just let it go. You will eventually learn and understand what's going on. But I can't do that if I'm always trying to figure out every little single thing. And that blocks us from what God is trying to do, because we're trying to figure it out. It's not for us to figure out. Let Him tell you. His understanding, His perception is bigger than ours. We can never ever measure up to His mindset and His perception and His mindset. We were never able to measure up to that. That's why I'm leaving room for God to show me what's going on. Because my will and His will is two different wills. And we got to be open to this. We got to be open. We got to be mindful to this. We got to be open. We got to be mindful, right? Developing the relationship with God is powerful, you know? And if you did turn to another entity, another force, and you're worshiping something else, this is your time to turn. This is your time to turn and understand it on another level now. Maybe the whatever happened, it was getting too hard. Whatever it was, you couldn't endure. You couldn't pass that test. Try, give it a go again. The devil doesn't have any power over you. He already got defeated at the cross. He got kicked out of heaven for pride, and Jesus embarrassed him in hell. He has no power. Jesus took the keys away from him. He has no power. So the next time you get tested, remind him of that, right? Put God first. You can do all things through Christ. No weapon formed against you shall ever prosper. Keep hitting the devil with the scriptures, right? Keep fighting, because that fight is making you into the person that God needs you to be, and it's also strengthening you and your spirits, so that way you could be a better help towards His kingdom. You can come up higher. You could elevate your vision of you, and you could be a changed, transformed person through Christ. This is what He's doing. And you keep reigning. Once you pass that test, you keep going. You keep reigning, 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 reigning until you got to get to where you got to get to. This is what it is. Read the Bible. Develop your relationship with Him. Put Him first. What's on the screens of your mind? What images are you seeing on the screens of your mind? Is it God, or is it other things that's not adding value? Because that's weakening you. When you have images on the screen of your mind that's not of God, it weakens you. I should do a video on that, right? If you have no images on the screen of your mind and it is not of God, then it's weakening, it's making you weak, right? It's making you weak. We got to switch that. We got to develop the how to develop the images on the screen of our minds, because you got the access to imagination. You could put up any image that you want that's positive. But some of us are keeping negative images. Some of us are keeping negative images on the screen of our mind. For what? For what? What is that doing to you? It's either making you strong or it's making you weak. Your mind is a precious, beautiful thing. Don't play around with it. Don't play around with your mind. Your mind can either make you powerful or it can make you weak. That's the power of the mind right there, right? I'm gonna leave you guys with this, right? I'm gonna leave you guys with this, right? If you don't start developing your relationship with God, you would have a short life. Your life would not be too long, right? And if you don't develop that relationship with Him, you will never get to where you're going. You will never see the goodness of the kingdom of God. You would never see the goodness in the kingdom and the power and the strength and the impact and the inspiration that comes with the kingdom of God. You would never ever see that. And I encourage you guys to keep striving, keep pushing forward, right? Letting everything fuel you into the person that God needs you to be, and keeping God first place, right? Over the whole world. Keep God first place over the whole world, right? He created this whole world. Nobody else did it, right? And for the people that's trying to control you, let them know God created you. They have no power to control you. And watch it die, right? Whatever you don't give your attention to eventually dies. With that being said, it's your boy Crazy Faith to God. On the way out, let's grow and be 1% better. Let's get it.